Hello, my name is Evelina Grant, and I've written a spoken word on the Declaration of Independence, which did not include the American Indians nor the Africans in its request for freedom, liberty, and protections. So basically, equality for all. But the title of my spoken word is A Declaration of Interdependence. Africans and American Indians would have been enslaved under the old or the new laws. It is for this reason my celebration with you is given pause. The colonists looked out for themselves and they wanted relief from Britain's abuse and their afflicted grief. Unalienable rights are mentioned near the resolutions beginning. These obligations to their humanity was intentionally lost in its designing. Unalienable rights are not transferable, nor can't be taken away or denied. They managed this legally with the declaration they codified. God made mankind in his image, is what the Bible states. But when they thought about people of color in those terms, they were filled with hate. And knowing King George III treated them with complete despotism, why was it fine for them to treat people of color with such barbarianism? The Bible made it clear many times to love one another, but not Africans because they didn't look like the others. The Bible said to bear one another's burden. They didn't count because you didn't think they were fully human. The fruit of the Spirit are peace, kindness, gentleness, and self-control. But none of this was shown to Africans as their family members were sold. From beginning to end, the Bible shouts love, love, love. But some people towards us just won't hear of. I love you. Can you love me? We're all a part of God's family. These are not just words, but his forever decree. You need me and the talents and gifts God has amply blessed. Many of those products of my talents have been taken or acquiesced. They came from Great Britain because they wanted freedom from abuse, but Africans and American Indians were theirs to misuse. The other reason in coming here was for religious freedom. This brand of religion offered me no healing. Richard Henry Lee prepared a written resolution. It was a decent map for a beginning nation's government institutions. July 4th, 1776, they made a Declaration of Independence. They'd had enough and prepared their reasons, causes, and defense. When in the course of human events, inclusion of Africans in this document were totally absent. To dissolve political bands of inequality and connect them to another, ending harsh brutality and slavery to your darker brothers. To assume among the powers of the earth the separate but equal station. American Indians were separate but not treated equal using exploitation. They said laws of nature and of nature's God entitled the colonists to rule over them. Their assumption was God gave the Europeans a royal diadem. They raised the issues of giving them a decent respect, but Africans as full humans, they simply rejected. In holding these truths to be self-evident, they decided Africans were inconsequent, that they were endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, but they were addressing only those who were white. That among these rights for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, while people of color were consistently lawfully oppressed. When the government became destructive, to allow consent to the governed, but the voter suppression is a cause for concern. They stated when a government becomes destructive to these voting ends, but this living document can cleverly make amends. It states, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. There goes my hope for with amendments you can permit. A long train of abuses and usurpations designed to reduce them. This was done to Africans and American Indians who tried to condemn. It states, it is the right, it is their duty to throw off such government. The enslaved wanted the same, but they didn't lament. Let facts be submitted to a candid world as they state their case. These actions were bad for them, but not others of the human race. King George refused to pass laws, or he simply ignored. That's exactly what was done to the enslaved and more. He refused to pass laws unless the people relinquished their rights of representation. At least he asked, but Africans lost their rights by their justification. His legislation meetings were distant, unusual, uncomfortable, to fatigue the people to attend. Are you kidding me? Sounds like current voter suppression even back then. They state no one has the right to rule another without their consent. Was the exception them what they really meant? It states, exposed to dangers of invasion from without and convulsions within, the enslaved were consistently harmed until they gave in. It amazes me the Declaration is pro-immigration. I guess that's important since all of us except the American Indians came from other nations. They hated the king's appointed judges that obeyed his will alone. Guess what? This is happening now, and it is so wrong. They protested the king's bodies of troops in their cities and neighborhoods. But why do you approve of consistent police presence with me is good? They protested the protection of troops with mock trials from punishment for murder. This travesty is happening now, and we do concur. It states they are deprived of the benefit of trial by jury. We know how this feels when our requests are met with fury. It states American Indians were described as savages, merciless with undistinguished destruction, while taking land they own was met with murder and obstruction. The Declaration states, in every stage of their oppression, we have petitioned in the most humble terms. But no matter how Africans and American Indians pleaded, their hatred was firm. Nearing the end, it announces a prince whose character is marked by all these acts. He is unfit to be a ruler, as they pronounce it as fact. Lastly, it announces they are a good people of the colony making these requests. We no longer want these things done to us, but we will always use draconian laws to oppress. I am truly amazed this Declaration of Independence is a playbook for future abuse. Line by line, their grievances against others are routinely introduced. But my fellow Americans, in 2020, there is reason for hope. Inequalities have been unrevealed with a wide scope. Confederate statues and flags are coming down in every city, state, and rural town. And I pray for healing and human rights for all to be restored. Judging people of color negatively will exist no more. I dream when confidence in the police by people of color will be shared by all, and trust and respect for them within us will be installed. The right to a revolution is a necessary act to change what is written to be actual facts. I don't want you to say you see all people as the same. We are different in physical features, ideals, and from where we came. But we are all Americans, and we deserve the same rights. With this view, we help equality for all to truly ignite. God bless America. America bless God, and love one another. Thank you.